Melise, is the question and answer chat enabled?
The chat should be good, yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to test? Can you see me?
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Yep. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. We're going to start in 1 minute. Thank you for joining us today. All right. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome and thank you. My name is Maëlys, and I'm the founder of Doctoloop, a platform where patients can discover and connect directly with independent physician and integrative health specialists. And today I'm very happy to introduce you to Helen Denise Stovall, a licensed psychotherapist and integrative mental health practitioner. Welcome, Helen.
Thank you. And thank
Denise.
you.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
so happy to have you here. We're so excited to learn more about what we're going to tell us. Denise specializes in trauma-informed therapy and nervous system regulation and incorporates neuroscience-based approaches such as brain spotting and the safe and sound protocol in her work. In today's session, Denise will walk us through how light and sound therapy can support nervous system regulation from home and how these tools can help reduce stress reactivity and support emotional resilience. Denise, thank you for being here today. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Melise, for having me. I'm really excited to be here and share this information with you all. I first want to just get a gauge of where everyone is from. Do you mind putting in the chat what state you reside in? Okay, Los Angeles, California, Ohio, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Texas. Awesome. Okay, great. Well, welcome. Welcome. Okay, so as Melise mentioned, I am a licensed holistic psychotherapist in the state of Washington and Florida. I know no one is here from Washington or Florida, but that is quite all right because I'm a national board certified functional mental health practitioner. And so I'm able to provide services throughout the United States. Okay. I specialize in narcissistic abuse recovery and trauma, and I use somatic modalities to help my clients be able to heal and regulate their nervous system as well as process trauma. Move on to the next slide. Okay. All right. So right now we are gathered because we want to learn more about light therapy and sound therapy. I have Tori Cueves with us, and towards the end of this presentation, she'll be able to talk to you guys more about the X39 light therapy technology. And we're just really happy to have her aboard. So we're going to go ahead and just get into the presentation about the safe and sound protocol. And at the end, we will have an opportunity for you guys to ask questions. Okay. So first, we're going to talk a little bit about the autonomic nervous system. Okay, then help you to understand what dysregulation is so that you can possibly pinpoint it in your life, and you'll learn that dysregulation does not just happen in our heads, it's actually in our bodies. Then we'll go into the safe and sound protocol, and again, the X39 patch, which is phototherapy, and understanding stem cells. And we'll talk about some clinical research behind it, as well as a special webinar promotion that we'll be offering at the end. Okay, so the autonomic nervous system. If you can, in the chat, if you can just state whether or not you are familiar with the nervous system in terms of nervous system regulation. I know there's a lot of talk recently about nervous system regulation. It's quite a buzzword. So I'm curious to know who is familiar, slightly familiar, or not all familiar. Okay, I see someone said yes. Okay, awesome. Well, that's why we're here today, right? So I'm going to just give you a brief introduction. So we all have an autonomic nervous system, um, which is basically our parasympathetic state and our sympathetic state. Those are the two branches, okay? So ideally, we want to be in the rest and digest state, right? That's where our body can heal. Um, we are able to sleep at night, digest our food properly. We feel calm and connected. We're not as triggered um, by certain events or situations. We're able to think clearly, access higher cognition. And that's just the ventral state that we feel most safe in. That's the ideal state. Then there's the sympathetic state. So that's the fight, flight, or freeze. And that's usually when we're in a dorsal state, when we are having difficulty with our digestion. Maybe we're having panic attacks. You're easily angered, reactive. Flight would be anxiety, panic, and avoidance. And then freeze looks like depression, shutdown, disassociation, and numbness. Okay. So again, just a brief overview. We have fight or flight, freeze, shutdown, and sign of dysregulation. As we mentioned in the previous slide, some of the symptomology of fight or flight, right? Some people enter a fight or flight state when they're triggered. Some people enter a freeze or a shutdown. Okay. And freeze also I'd like to include does encompass chronic fatigue, right? Sometimes you can't sleep, you have insomnia, or you can have just the exact opposite where you can't get enough sleep. So that's where the fatigue comes in. That is a sign of nervous system dysregulation. Okay. So do any of these signs in the last far right column resonate with anyone in terms of like sleep, digestion issues, trouble concentrating, challenges connecting to others, and even physical tension and pain? Right. Okay, I see a yes. Okay, great. Well, um, I have great news for you because I know a lot of times people who are experiencing these symptomologies, they actually are sometimes in therapy. And therapy is not necessarily enough. You know, it's not a standalone treatment, a necessary, important treatment. But when you are suffering or having challenges with nervous system dysregulation, you need to drop down into the body. We actually need to get to the root of the problem and regulate your nervous system. When you're in therapy, like I said, which is very necessary, you are reaching the neocortex of your brain. That's the surface part of your brain where all the words are and the thoughts are. But all your trauma and dysregulation is actually in your body. It's in the deeper regions of the brain, the limbic brain. And so sometimes people are in therapy for years and they're like, I'm still having these same challenges. Um, and I feel like there's no hope, but I want to let you know there is hope. Okay. So what is that? That is the Safe and Sound Protocol, affectionately known as SSP. And SSP is a somatic modality that is basically specially filtered music that is designed to regulate your nervous system. The music is specially synthesized to stimulate the vagus nerve. Okay, and the vagus nerve is the longest nerve in our body. It's the chief commander of our nervous systems, and it controls our vagal brake. And so, when you are exposed to chronic stress over time, your vagal brake will go offline and your vagal brake will actually get stuck in a parasympathetic state. I'm sorry, not a parasympathetic state, a sympathetic state. And so in that state, we're easily triggered and we enter survival mode, we enter fight or flight, freeze, or even fawn. And I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with fawn, but fawn is kind of like people pleasing, right? And it's a way to protect yourself. You're fearful. So you can get stuck in that state as well, right? So, like I mentioned before, ideally, we want to be in a parasympathetic state where we are able to heal, digest, rest, and even we are able to reach higher cognition, right? I'm sure you've heard don't make a decision when you're emotional, right? Well, it's impossible for us to think rationally and to reach higher cognition when we are stuck in sympathetic mode. Okay, so the SSP can be done remotely. It is used in over 70 countries right now. It's helped over 100,000 adolescents, children, and adults. And what I'll do is I'm going to turn it over for the sake of time. I'm going to turn it over to Tori so that she can talk a little bit about light therapy, which can be used in conjunction with SSP. Not necessary. They both can be used separately. And one doesn't necessarily require the other, but if you use them together, it's definitely a comprehensive approach to psychological and physiological healing. So I want to introduce you guys to Tori Clave. She is the executive brand ambassador for LifeWave, and we are so happy to have her with us today. I myself personally have benefited from not only Safe and Sound Protocol, but also from the X39 patch with this patented technology. And it has been amazing. A lot of my clients have benefited from both as well. So I thought it would be great to have Tori come on to explain some more about how you guys can also benefit from it.
Yes, thank you so much, Denise. And I am so excited to be able to share such a powerful technology in conjunction to what we just learned about the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nerve system and the vagus nerve. And what I love is the fact that when partnered together, you have a dual approach to your wellness. Now, do you have to have it partnered together? No. I want to share with you how powerful the X39 patch is. This is photobiomodulation, and what that simply means is that this is working off of your own body's infrared heat signal for cellular repair. What the LifeWave patch does, I have one right here. You can wear this anywhere on your body, but I'm going to go a little bit further into detail, is that this elevates the GHKCU copper peptide in your body, which in turn activates dormant stem cells. It is non-transdermal, so nothing is going into your skin. It's just reflecting off of your own body's infrared light. Now, what I love about this is that Most of us are familiar with the term stem cell, but we do not understand the power of what stem cells do. They're actually the master cell of our body, and they can become whatever it is that your body needs. Denise, if you want to flip to that next slide, you'll be able to understand more as I go through what this does. But what is incredible is that this technology was recognized and awarded the 2025 Biotech Breakthrough Award. And why that is so spectacular is that there were thousands of nominations from 15 different countries, all specializing in different solutions, different techniques, and sciences. And we actually, out of thousands of nominations, were awarded this breakthrough award in stem cell technology. Now, going back to why this is so important, as we age, we have stem cells that start to go dormant. And what I did not realize is that by the time we reach age 30, 50% of our stem cells are dormant, which means they're not functioning at optimal levels. And by the time we reach age 60, we almost have zero stem cell activity, meaning they're still there, they're just not functioning. And why this has become so powerful, which took 10 years to develop, is that this little sticker that can simply be put on your body anywhere. The clinical studies were done right behind the neck and right below the belly button. But if there is a specific area in your body that needs specific attention, if you have discomfort in your shoulder or any discomfort in your back, or really anywhere, ankle, knees, whatever it is, you can simply put this patch there and let your stem cells start to reactivate and let your body's ability to heal itself start naturally. Now, as we go through the columns, what are stem cells? They can be found throughout the body, in your bone marrow, fat tissue, blood, organs, every single organ. When we talk about your brain, your heart, your liver, your kidneys, lungs, it doesn't matter, because there have been testimonials of success using this therapy literally from A to Z. And what they're designed to do is they're your internal repair system. Now, as we age and those stem cells start to go to sleep, per se, then the aging process takes hold, the healing process becomes more difficult. And that's where actually the signs of aging start to take place, where we start getting our wrinkles, where when we wake up, we feel, 20 years older than we actually are. That's because we lack stem cell activity. This also helps support reducing inflammation at the cellular level. What we are talking about today is not a Band-Aid approach. It is literally taking a root strike approach to your body's ability to heal. Now, how the X39 works, again, it activates that GHKCU copper peptide, which is the peptide needed to signal the stem cells to activate. It reverses those cells to a healthier, younger state, triggers your body's ability to repair itself, which I love because there is no medication required. Our bodies are a beautiful gift that we've been given, and they do have the ability to heal themselves given the right environment and right technology now. And there is measurable stem cell activity activated simply within 24 hours of putting this on your body. Now, as we talk about what to expect with this, I want to first go over how do you wear this. It comes in, we call one of these a sleeve, and you're getting 30 patches. You wear one for 12 hours at a time. I simply say, whenever you get up and you start brushing your teeth and you're ready for the day, you put that little patch on, and then whenever you're getting ready for bed, you simply take that patch off and you replace it with a new patch every single day. One of the things that I do want to recommend is making sure that you are staying hydrated. We also encourage increasing your electrolyte, because so many of us are mineral deficient. And because this works at a cellular level, first of all, our cells have to be hydrated in order for you to get maximum benefit. But we also, by elevating that GHKCU copper peptide, if we are deficient in minerals, then you're not going to be optimizing the efficiency of what this technology can provide. So you can either increase your electrolytes by simply adding some throughout the day, taking an extra drink of electrolytes, or you can take a couple pinches of Celtic salt, put it on your tongue, and you're good to go, which is fantastic for your health. Now, what to expect? The benefits start happening immediately, but what I want to point out is that this is not a supplement that we might be used to consuming something and we expect a response within 30 minutes, like we supplement with nutrition and vitamins and things of that nature. This is not on the same playing field. So I want to set up proper expectation that within the first few hours, you are resetting and activating 4,000 genes back to a normal, healthy state. But within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. Within 3 months, your body starts producing its own collagen again. Therefore, we start experiencing a decrease in the way that our wrinkles look, an increase of collagen production for our hair, our skin, our nails, literally reversing the signs of aging. This is not anti-aging, but it truly is age reversal. And there are clinical studies that show by wearing this technology 6 months consistently, you can literally decrease the vascular age of your heart up to 8 years. And that absolutely blew my mind when I understood the science, because I initially took my health and my approach to health as if I don't feel something, it's not working. Well, let me tell you, you didn't necessarily feel your body aging until all of a sudden I'm almost 50 in July. And I didn't recognize when I started to lose my vision. I didn't recognize the joint pain that I started, experiencing. But my personal testimony is that when I started wearing it, I've been patching now for almost 2 years next month. And the first couple of months, I'll be honest, I think maybe the biggest improvement that I saw was my improvement in sleep. But it was month 3 that I was consistently wearing the sticker. I actually put it on a growth that I had here. And literally within less than a week's time, that growth shrunk off of my face. And it was, just so you guys know, it had been biopsied, it had come back positive. And I was to the point where I was fearful of having surgery. And I wanted to see what this stem cell technology could do. Well, it absolutely was mind-blowing watching that growth completely shrink, but even more so because of the location and my due diligence of wanting to use discernment. I did opt to have that surgery, but the healing time and the tissue repair that took place in record time was absolutely incredible. And you can barely see, I have this tiny little line of a scar. And when I say there was a chunk of skin and tissue taken out, we're talking within 30 days, you could barely see that I had surgery. Some of the other benefits that I have personally experienced is my night vision has been restored. I used to have night blindness due to the glare from the lights. I couldn't see the roads, and it was I was driving at night with my husband, and I slapped him across the chest and I said, "Oh my gosh, I can see." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "You have no idea. I used to be so intimidated at nighttime in a vehicle because I literally could not see the road. It probably was not safe for me to be on the road in all actuality, but that happened 3 months in, and of course my vision has remained clear at night. Some of the other compounding effects, because what this does is have a compounding effect over time. So it's not, I'm going to try it for 30 days. It's once you activate those stem cells and continue to keep them activated, the results continue to happen and you get improvements throughout the journey. And within 6 months, my entire digestion was healed. I used to have horrible issues with my digestive system, and I think it's actually related to what you were speaking about earlier, Denise, with that symptomatic fight or flight mode that I was in for so long before I was introduced to this technology. But within 6 months, my digestive system was completely healed. I also have experienced, I had degenerative gum loss. And the only thing that the dentist said that they could do was just keep an eye on it. And eventually, if needed, that we could do a gum graft. Well, obviously, that was not what I wanted to hear. But in time, as I have continued to be faithful wearing this life-changing technology, I no longer have any gum loss whatsoever. My gums have been restored, and it literally, the benefits continue to compound month after month, and what will end up being year after year, because I don't want my stem cells to go back to the natural state of the aging process. So I am going to fight the aging process as long as I can. And I know that some of you guys might want to have some additional facts or clinical studies, or what does it say? For me, I just wanted to know that it worked. But there are tons of clinical research, double-blind studies, pilot studies, all kinds of PubMed documents that you can do your own research. But what you can expect to experience is an increase in your energy, better sleep, better vitality, any discomfort in your body leaving. Now, does that all happen immediately? No, but in time, over time, you are going to feel a much more sense of overall wellness and optimal health as those stem cells continue to be reactivated. So how do you get started? I know the next slide, we want to go over how they would choose to get started. Okay, so Denise, I'll turn this over to you, going over yours, and then I'll let them know how to contact me for additional information if they want to get started on the X39 patch.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, thank you so much, Tori. Yes, so today we are offering a special for the Safe and Sound protocol. Normally the rate is $75 a session. It's at a maximum of 30 minutes a week for approximately 10 weeks, and usually that totals $750. However, there's a group rate that I am offering for $45 a session, and it's 30 minutes weekly, again, for 10 weeks. The groups start in April, so you would be able to save approximately $300. And there is also a free bonus for the first 7 signups, and that is a free initial SSP license that's valued at $45. It expires 12 months from the date of activation, so you only have to pay it initially once a year. SSP is usually done, I think it's usually about, for some people, it depends on how dysregulated you are, a 10-week program of core pretty much helps people to see the benefits that they're looking for. If you want to maintain regulation during after the 10-week period, there's a balance program that you can participate in. And if you participate in that program, that would be for approximately 6 weeks. And if you wanted to do another 10 weeks, you could. But most people are usually good with the first 10 weeks. It's not something that you have to rely on and continue to do. Uh, in terms of life, sometimes we can go through chronic stress or horrific things that can cause us to dysregulate again, so I can't promise that you won't get, dysregulated sometime in the future based on an unexpected life event, but it does dramatically change your life in terms of the regulation that you need and are looking for. So this is going to be our question and answer sessions. If anyone has any questions, feel free to enter them in the chat. And you can also find the link to where you can book spots for SSP either on the QR code or inside the chat. You can also find the link, and you can also order through the through the QR code on the screen for the X39 patch if interested. And as you can see on the screen on the far right, there's some information for Tori. If you have any questions and you need any guidance in walking through the website, please feel free to reach out to her. And I can also be reached. My email is on the screen.
Okay. Yeah, I will just go over briefly the for the LifeWave X39 patch. There are a couple of different options how you can order. For retail, it's around $150 a month for your 30-day supply. Most people, as a matter of fact, I've had 100% become a preferred customer, and that's simply setting up a subscription that you can cancel at any time. I do not recommend that simply because, again, when dealing with stem cell activation, the proper expectation is you want to commit to at least 1 month for every decade of life. So for me, I'm almost 50. I knew that I was going to commit to at least 5 months before I could determine if and what it was doing for me. And of course, it was by month 3 that everything radically changed, and I have continued on my journey with this type of therapy, and it's been life-changing. But as a preferred customer, you're paying wholesale pricing at just a little over $3 a day. So it's $99 a month. And there is an option to be a preferred customer plus. If you want to pay a $25 membership along with setting up that subscription, you actually just get additional samples that you'll get directly from the company of what other patches that they provide. My recommendation for sure would be to set up that preferred customer account, which is free, and to get started on that journey. And I would absolutely love to have individual conversations. If you have anything specific that you are looking for improvement on, and we're talking, the results and miracles that happen every single day are literally from A to Z, including your mental health. That's where the brain balancing comes in. So when we're talking about depression, loss of sleep, PTSD, things of that nature, your body starts becoming regulated and those symptoms start to disappear. Lack of anxiety, all of those things you start seeing improvement. So I think that it is fantastic that you are doing a combination of both therapies. And if I can be of any assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out.
Thank you so much, Doris. This is so exciting. I'm so interested, especially the loss of vision. Like it's really happened to me. So definitely reach out to you very soon. I think we had few questions, but it looks like Denise, did you?
Yeah, I saw Alexis ask the question. I just wanted to address it really quick. Thank you for the question, Alexis. Yes, so SSP is specially filtered. It's neurologically intensive, and it has a patented hertz that Dr. George Burgess has patented. So it's not a hearse that's available to the public outside of the actual program. So it's not like if you go on YouTube and you listen to like bilateral beats, which are based on hertz frequencies. It's specially synthesized. So hopefully that answers your question. If anyone else has any more questions, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat.
Thank you, Denise. So if you are interested to learn more or to book, this program, you can go on the website. I just added the link here on Doctoloop to find Denise page. And the way it works is you'll just, book a meet and greet consultation with her by buying here, like the package is just right there. And then you schedule a meet and greet consultation, which is 15 minutes. And Denise will organize everything with you in terms of the Zoom link and all the other details. You can ask her any question during this consultation also. Again, the link is on the chat, and we will be also following up with an email with all those information.
Awesome.
Question.
Okay.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Denise. Thank you, Tori.
Thank you for having me.
So
Yes,
great.
thank you.
Thank you, guys. Hope to see you soon. And we will be sending a following up email. So do not hesitate to also reply to us.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.